All right, so this is going to be a video where I compare two plays. Well, really, it's the same play that the Kansas City Chiefs ran in the Super Bowl and the Detroit Lions under Ben Johnson ran in Week 1 in their 38-35 loss to the Eagles. The score is going to be tied here. I'm going to show the play one time, and then I'm going to show you how this came about, how I became to have knowledge of it. Score's tied 35 all, 3:30 left in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. 3rd and 1 near midfield. Eagles just went 10 plays, 75 yards to tie it on a Jalen Hurts quarterback sneak like a minute and a half earlier. 3rd and 1 midfield, I think negative 47-yard line. Pacheco in the backfield. Split backs formation, meaning one back is aligned to the left of the quarterback. And usually you're talking about like a 45-degree angle. You can see the angle is slightly different for Pacheco, the running back on the right. Let's be honest, this is a halfback and this is a fullback. This is not a true split back threat. It's a split backs formation, and the Eagles don't identify that any run play with, beginning from the backfield in terms of a player is going to go to Pacheco. On a 3rd and 1 in the Super Bowl, even Andy Reid, I think, is going to hesitate to run with the fullback behind a lead blocker like Pacheco. The Eagles don't do a great job of identifying where the run threat is. Tremendous play call, if you ask me. The very next play, Patrick Mahomes scrambles for 26 yards, probably his best play of the Super Bowl, ending the possession with Jerick McKinnon sliding down at the 2, and then Harrison Butker's 27-yard field goal with 11 seconds left wins it, okay? So check this out. This play comes from Week 1. This tells you about Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, who's since moved on, obviously, to Washington. But this play comes from same formation, same everything. I'm going to break down the blocking scheme a little bit more here in a minute. The Detroit Lions 38-35 lost to the Eagles in Week 1. Somewhat different alignment by the Eagles. They've got an inside linebacker. I think it's White over here playing an edge position. So they're lined up in, what some people refer to as a 6-2, whatever you want to call it. Same exact play. Halfback sweep to the weak side of the formation. Let's just see it one more time, then I'm going to explain how I came to have knowledge of this. This capped a 12-play, 75-yard drive for the Lions. This is a 4th and 1, by the way, on the 7-yard line. DeAndre Swift easily sweeps into the end zone. Very similar play to the one that I showed you. Here's how I came to have knowledge of it. Number one, I break down all the Lions film. I think I have 7 games done at this point. So I'm showing a picture of the film. This is Lions Eagles data that I put in my database. There's other columns there. I deleted some of the columns to make everything fit here, and still the text and the font is probably too small for people. So, forgive me for that. You don't actually see the 4th and 1 here. I think it's the end of the 6th possession. If you look all the way to the left-hand side, you see drive number. That's the possession, okay? And then clip number is the play. So essentially, what play order was it in? Yard line, down distance, all that stuff. So how I came to have knowledge of it is I'm breaking down the Eagles-Lions game, continuing to put data in, and I just scroll down my columns in the database, which I'm not going to show you here. You got to be a part of my patron to do that, or to see that, but on your own computer. But in any case, I noticed, why don't I have this play labeled? It's a 4th and 1, and it ends, I think, the 6th possession. Maybe it was the 7th. So I go and I look, and it's the 4th and 1. It didn't have labeled. And when I watched the play, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same play the Chiefs ran in the Super Bowl. I mistakenly thought the Chiefs ran it from inside the 20-yard line, making it even more similar, to the Lions play, because they ran it from the 7-yard line. It was not. It was ran from the 47. So we'll go over some of it here again. The Chiefs are in 22 personnel. They got 2 tight ends to the right, and then a true fullback to the left-hand side of the formation, top side. It's an actual fullback. And if you notice the blocking scheme here, we're going to let it run a couple of times. He cuts the D end, outside linebacker, whatever you want to call him, who's on the ground. You don't see the guy. He's been cut. And there's a pulling lineman, left guard, and then a pulling right guard. Some people would call this buck sweep. No problem. 2 pulling guards normally does indicate buck sweep, but I hesitate to call it that because normally you're getting the fullback going opposite of the run action. So we're talking about out of the wing T, where the fullback's feet would be here, halfback's feet will be a little bit wider, and the fullback will be going opposite. The halfback will be going with the pulling guards, which in this case is the left guard and the right guard. That's why I hesitate to call it buck sweep. I just call it sweep with a pin pull action. pinned down on the 4-eye by the left tackle, which in this case Orlando Brown, left guard pulling out here to lead. And then also you've got a crack action by the X receiver, which I think is Sky Moore. So give him credit for being a rookie and executing that. We'll rewind it, let you see it again. Chiefs get the edge the same exact way the Lions did against the Eagles. What's my overall point here? Man, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl against Andy Reid in a big situation, 3rd and 1, 3.5 minutes left, tie game, negative 47-yard line. They've got Patrick Mahomes. Of course, he's somewhat compromised health-wise. He's got a bad ankle, and it got re-injured during the game. They go to Pacheco on a formation and a play that I haven't seen them run. The only time I've ever seen it in the NFL for myself, which I've been breaking down film for the better part of 2.5, 3 years now, is the Lions week 1 against the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. Unbelievable to me that if you're preparing to defend and stop Andy Reid in a crucial situation, he goes to a play that someone else designed and ran against the Eagles, basically showed him the blueprint of what to do. Am I saying that the Eagles have trouble with this formation? Well, they've probably only seen it twice. Maybe they've seen it in camp more now. I don't even know if the Eagles play the Chiefs this year. It would be interesting to me if the Chiefs ran that again against them. There is something about the split backs formation that's incredibly dangerous. Now, this is not a split backs offense because, like, you're normally talking about outside veer option, which is just down blocks on the front side. Occasionally you get a veer release by the tight end and then a dive off tackle. So it's a wider hitting veer play, which is why you call it outside veer. And the quarterback is taking this interesting, almost flat angle to get to the dive back, and then the other halfback is running out in to be the pitch man. It's an extremely difficult offense to stop. Do not discount it. If you've never dealt with it or never seen it, it can be horrible to deal with because in order to stop the dive, you've got to allocate the end man on the line of scrimmage, which now opens up a whole host of other problems for you on trap plays and kick plays and stuff like that. We'll let you see the end zone angle, and I'm going to try something that I don't normally do, but here's the crack block by the X. You can see that the D end, well, technically he's not a D end, he's really an inside linebacker, walked up here, is being cut by the tight end. The Lions are in what I'd call jumbo 13 personnel, meaning 3 tight ends and 1 running back. That's Swift. But one of those tight ends is a 6th lineman. That's hence the term jumbo. Normally, when we would get jumbo 12, jumbo 13, if we got 80 instances of that across the season, 79 of them were run plays. And in the NFL, it's the same thing. You see jumbo 12, jumbo 13, you're either talking about a run concept or a play action pass. Here's the pulling left guard, getting out, escorting Swift to the end zone. You can see they've really isolated this corner, Bradbury, which is the same exact situation that occurs in the Super Bowl. I don't think it's Bradbury, however. I'm going to let you guys, hopefully this runs well and you can see it properly on your screen. So the screen's going to get small and we're going to see the 2 plays side by side. So this is the first time that I've done this, so forgive me if it's too small for you to see, but you're going to get the same exact blocking scheme. 45 going to cut the D end. And then this tight end, and you can only see the guy's feet. The difference here between these two is improvement, meaning the Chiefs have already seen the play and they understand the fullback's got to get his inside shoulder to the outside knee, the outside leg of the D end. Watch what happens to this left tackle for the Lions as this runs through. On the cut here by the tight end, he really rolls into his guy versus the left tackle here, Orlando Brown, and the shoulder of the fullback being on the outside of this D end's body is removing Orlando Brown from being rolled up on. But in any case, the similarities of the timing, you got the pulling left guard. You can see the feet of the pulling left guard here and here. Quarterback with the boot action or play action look off of the sweep. Somewhat different in that the Chiefs are pulling the backside right guard and the Lions are really just zone stepping these guys. The similarities are really eerie. Now, I timed up the pauses here, but you can even see, like, I even counted the steps, and the steps were damn near the same. Beautiful play sequence, old style offense, split backs. Andy Reid did something similar in the Super Bowl, I believe, after the 2019 season. He used a single wing play. I couldn't find the all 22, so I can't show it to you. But interesting to me that he'll go all the way back to looking in week one to try to find something to use in a specific situation. I thought it was pretty interesting. The exact same concept being used, exact same play, same side of the field. Only difference is that the Chiefs ran this to the field, to the wide side of the field, when the Lions ran this to the boundary. The ball was being snapped pretty much near the right hash, so the wide side of the field will be over here because the other hash is on that side, with this being the boundary side. The Lions ran it to the boundary because the ball was on the other hash. That's the only difference between the two plays, I guess, along with the fact that the Chiefs pulled the right guard out here. They wanted to make sure they got somebody out there. Who knows? 4th and 1, maybe Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy go for it anyway. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered if they didn't get it here. But I think it's pretty telling that in a huge situation, they knew they had something they could go to. Maybe the Chiefs had run it before. I haven't seen it. I certainly didn't see it in the playoffs. Damn sure didn't see it against the Bengals in the AFC title game because the Bengals shut down the Chiefs' running game completely, I thought. You're welcome to quote the stats to me if you wish, but I thought it was something less than 50 yards rushing overall. I didn't see it in the regular season from the Chiefs games that I have on film. And when I watched it, when I was finishing charting the Lions game from week one, I thought I was done with it. I had 2 plays that I didn't label the formation in the play. When I saw it this morning, I thought, well, that's pretty neat. I would like to bring it to the attention of other people who may find Andy Reid's play calling interesting, or Lions fans who, obviously are high on Ben Johnson. Imitation is supposedly the biggest form of flattery. And in this case, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, have to give them credit for reaching all the way back 17 games prior, I guess 18 games prior, and finding something that they knew would work and using it in a huge moment with a rookie running back and a fullback and Sky Moore, a rookie ex-receiver. Just speaks to how much confidence Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy had in those guys and their ability to execute things that are offbeat or change-ups from what they would normally do. Because when you think of Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowls, you think of throwing the football. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, among other guys, you think of them throwing the ball and being flashy. In this 3rd and 1 situation, they went back to something that is an offense that's been used since like the late 1970s. Appreciate you guys' time. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section. This was a fun one for me to do. Challenging to edit it and try to squeeze both of those plays onto the screen at the same time. So let me know if that was too small. I'll try that again maybe if I can find offenses doing similar things. But I was really only able to do that because it was the end zone angle kind of zoomed in there, and we didn't really need to see the other side of the field. If you think other people, other NFL fans, Lions, Chiefs fans, whatever, would enjoy this content, please consider grabbing a link to it and sharing it out on social media to help this video get more reach.